Greetings. It is time for, well, a different setup. I've never tried to emulate a DS game before, but I couldn't get the other thing to work. So I played the previous Professor Layton when Patreon asked, via the new mobile port that's HD and all that, and it looks better. It did lead to it being all vertical, so the most of the screen was empty, so there's some downsides to the previous approach. But I can't play that copy. They did do an HD version of the sequel, and it's just not available via like the BlueStacks like emulatory versions of how you play phone games. It's just conspicuously missing. It's just listed as incompatible with that type of game. Strangely, 3 other Layton games are on there, but just not specifically this one. Weird. So I guess I'm gonna play the DS version then. Annoying, but fine, I guess. I was worried. I've always been worried about playing a DS game via computer because it's such a really specific console that has all these little buttons all over it, like a normal handheld, but then it has a touch screen which I have to interact with separately and differently, and I don't know how that works from game to game and so on. But in this specific case, we're playing a game that doesn't really have real-time elements. And in this case, I think it's basically 100% touchscreen most of the time, or maybe all the time. I don't remember it super clearly, so I don't think it's going to be much of an obstacle, since I guess you can just play with your mouse. So at least there's that. Here we go. Are we writing? We are writing. Okay. Ah. Oops. There we go. That's doable. That A is really ugly. Ugly enough to annoy me, honestly. It'd be pretty fast. In a way that wouldn't be hard with a stylus, but is a little hard to do with a mouse. This is a work of fiction. The characters, groups, and they're probably fake.
There
That's
are
what it means.
tales of a box that brings death upon any who dare open it. Tell me, do you think those rumors could be true?
It's full of uranium. It's a uranium box.
Hey, look! There it is!
This poor compressed animation, oh no. There's the inspector guy. I remember him.
Now this is what I call deluxe. Just look at this room!
Yes, I can certainly see why some call the Molenterry Express a cruise ship on rails.
This sofa's great!
Now, don't forget, Luke. A gentleman pays attention to his manners. In every setting.
So what's the actual story behind the Elysian box anyway? All who open it die, huh? Sounds awfully fishy to me.
Perhaps so. But we've seen it happen with our very own eyes. The answer is out there, Luke. But I just need to find it.
We will. I know it.
Prologue, the Elysian box. Do I clicky? I clicky. My dear friend, Keith.
There was a box that was rumored to kill anyone who opened it. At first, neither the professor nor I believed it. But all that changed with the arrival of a single letter.
A few days earlier.
Luke, have a look here.
A lot of time skipping all over the place. Why are they telling this introduction so out of order? It's unnecessary. It's because they just wanted to show the whatever assets they had that were animated first, I think, and then go to the somewhat less exciting. Now they're just talking part, probably, but but it's like so strangely mangled of a prologue. I know that they mean like magic, but overall it's like it's not that weird to think that there could just be a box that kills anyone who opens it. It's called a trap. There's like a bunch of versions of that you could have.
Oh, what's that, Professor?
It's a letter from my dear friend and mentor, Dr. Andrew Schrader.
Is everything all right?
My dear Herschel, knowing you, I imagine you've already heard of the relic known as the Elysian Box. This strange antique is infamous for killing anyone who opens it. Truth be told, I'm a bit dubious of the box's murderous reputation, but you know how I am. Once something piques my interest, I simply must get to the bottom of it. That's why I'm pleased as punch to tell you that the elusive item is finally in my possession. What's more, I believe I'm on the cusp of unraveling a great mystery tied to this box. For the moment, let's just say I have a theory, though I haven't been able to prove it yet. Initially, it was my intention to finish my research before daring to open its lid. But I must confess that my curiosity is simply overpowering. In the unlikely event that anything should happen to me, please, finish the work I've started here. Your friend, Andrew Schrader.
Open the
According
box?
to the postmark, this letter was sent 2 days ago. We should go pay the doctor a visit.
Everyone's just like, don't open the box, it kills you if you open the box. Don't open the box. One thing you gotta do, you don't open the box. Well, that's got me curious. I think I should open the box. So I'm doing the YouTuber thing that people do where they make one screen big and one screen small, which doesn't always work every game, but in this particular case seems to make sense, because as far as I can tell, the second screen is not continuous with the first screen. Like, it's not like the top half of the image or anything. This is technically a higher camera angle of this room, like you can see the ceiling, but it's obviously not, like, this part does not line up with this part. This is just like a different part of the room entirely, and that seems to be usually the case. So I don't think they usually make this two screens match up vertically, so it shouldn't really matter that they're not in the normal orientation. And generally speaking, this is the big touch screen, so it's where all the puzzles get solved, and this is where like descriptions and things happen, so it should be perfectly fine to be over there, where it's still legible, but we get to focus on this screen as far as real estate goes. And neat thing, I thought I'd have to do that in editing, but the emulator just does this. You can just tell it to do this with the screens, which is neat, and you can just rearrange them a bit.
I just can't shake the feeling that something awful has happened.
Well, your intuition's usually spot on. I say we head out right away.
Elysian Box. Tap mystery for more details. Elysian Box is an antique said to bring death upon any who dare to open its lid. According to rumors, the box has already claimed many lives and is feared in many parts of the world. Could this strange item truly exist? Alright, now we've asked that question 17 times in a row, let's start the story. Luke, before we go, would you be so kind as to fetch up my car keys? They're in one of the drawers in that desk. Sure thing, Professor. If there's something you wish to inspect, Luke, simply give it a tap. It's the tutorial. Look at all these thick books. No, I'm sorry, this stupid voice. No wonder the professor's so smart. He's read like 5. It's not even a very big library. It's mostly like a bunch of bottles and like boxes of things that are clearly not books. A forgotten bagged lunch, seemingly. I guess there's some more books over here. Overall, not a massive amount though. This looks like the cool S. That's weird. Apparently, uncomfortable chairs make you smarter. No proper study should be without a little greenery. What on earth are all these funny little things on the shelf? Don't you work here or something? Or whatever you get? What do you do all day? Who knew the professor was such a pack rat? Oh, here we are, Professor. Many thanks, Luke. Now, let's get moving. You do know how to move, don't you? You click on the little foot icon and you say what you want to do. That's exactly right. Anytime you want to move. Blah, blah, blah. Shoe there. That's the way, my boy. One can't navigate properly without first doing a little legwork, as they say. I couldn't agree more, Professor. Now, shall we head off? A little map. Head to Schrader's home. Oh, there's 2 Layton heads, but this is just like a who's in the party thing, and that's the location we actually have right now. Study hallway, 0 puzzles solved, I guess. Look at all the appointments and meetings posted here. There's no doubt which office belongs to the professor. Oh, it's his hat. I thought it was a book. I just went back in. Yep. Is that an office or a cafe? Have you never checked? It's literally next door. The floors here sure are colorful. Luke, before we set out, it would be wise of us to confirm the location of the doctor's flat. During one of his visits some time ago, he was kind enough to leave me a map to his home. A map, as you can see, is a rather unusual piece of cartography. Or the map. I was gonna say, a map? Aren't maps just all cartography? Look here, Luke. There's pieces missing. Oh, how clever. The map itself is a puzzle. Why are we like this? Why is our society like this? How do we ever accomplish anything when we have to solve 200 puzzles on the way to work? Professor, do you mind if I take a crack at it? I just know I can solve this one. It's worth 10 picarats. I don't remember how those are awarded. Do you just lose points when you ask for help or something? I think the hints make you lose or something. In the map to Dr. Schrader's home, several pieces in the center have been cut out. Restore the map by inserting the missing pieces in the correct spots. Touch a piece with your stylus to grab it, then slide. You can't rotate. It may sound simple, but don't forget you can move and remove pieces, including the one already in the middle of the map. Oh, so this one is also a piece. It's this thing they're slightly hiding. Okay. Only that one's movable, though. Seems like it stays in the middle, unless it's a fake piece and it doesn't match anything. This one's the other one that has the top right one here, and that one matches up there. Okay. Put you down here. I think that the middle one, the one in the middle of the screen is a fake out, and it isn't compatible with the map. Because there's just one more piece than fits, I guess. Which is strange. I think you also might lose a picarat if you submit an incorrect answer. I think that might be the other way it works besides being lost from hints or something, but I don't remember. Memo? That's helpful. Alright. Particularly helpful for just trying to convey what I'm talking about to an audience at certain times is handy.
Let's see if this works.
Correct.
That was almost too easy.
It jumping to the screen was slightly weird. Okay, yep. Excellent work, you did the thing. Picarats are points that indicate a puzzle's difficulty. The more picarats a puzzle is worth, the tougher it is. When you submit an incorrect answer for a puzzle, the number of picarats you can earn for the puzzle decreases. Once you've beaten the game and saved, go to the bonus section and load your game file. From there, you can enter the top secret area where a number of fun extras are waiting for you. The more picarats you earn, the more extras you unlock. So now you beat the game and go to bonuses after you've beaten the entire game to do the picarat section. I think last game it was like a weird house. Excellent. With our destination confirmed, we are ready to pay the doctor a visit. Come now. Dr. Schrader's map is now in your puzzle index. "3D, you can't trick me. You can, even with all this compression, you can't make me not notice that you have a 3D model in the middle of your 2D animation. It has like a different shading style and everything." It's honestly just really hard to pull off. Like, even in Beastars, a pretty modern show that mixes 2D and 3D, but mostly 3D. Every time a 2D character shows up, it's really obvious that they're 2D every single time. I do believe we found the doctor's building. But which flat is his? That, I'm afraid, I don't know. But thinking on it now, the letter I received did mention something about this place. What? On some level, I can appreciate that currently the puzzles are at least contextualized slightly. I feel like I remember the previous game quickly turning into just, here's a bunch of random cereal box puzzles that have basically no connection to what's happening in the story, just to sort of break up all the stuff that's happening. I can't even say break up, because of the core gameplay. It's just, there was a story and some puzzles, and every now and then they overlapped, but usually they didn't, I think. Find Dr. Schrader's window from details in his letter. In the morning, I often awaken to the sound of music drifting in from a nearby flat. Looking out, I spy a flag fluttering gently outside my window. Take a single sip of my tea and turn my attention to the morning sun. Not many flats in London have a view of the sunrise anymore, you know. Circle the window from which the doctor views the sunrise. Okay. So that's the music person. These three have flags. That's a plant, that's a shirt, that's a flag. That doesn't look like it's going to be outside anyone's window, though. I'm guessing it might be one of these. What time is it right now? How do I know what direction the morning sun is in? You do a little circle. And every new line redoes it, yep. And the thing shows up when you're done, okay. Please, I don't... Get rid of the text. I've made a horrible mistake. I'll just circle this for a bit. Okay. I don't want the text filling the whole thing. It looks at the same plant twice. There's a really sad looking cat. Just poor little thing. So it's near the music one, but just says nearby. A flag outside my window. Could be this one. This flag's outside the window. The question is whether they mean... what direction is this building facing? I take a sip of my tea, then turned my attention to the morning sun. Not many flats in London have a view of the sunrise anymore, you know? What I find interesting is that if you're up here, there's music nearby, but a flag outside your window. Because this is the same flat. These windows are the same room. That's how rooms work. Unless they're sliced diagonally like a sandwich or something. These two windows are the same room and so on. What time is this photo taken? Am I missing something? This light's on. That makes it seem like it's nighttime. Except the sky is not dark. I guess the light's still on because it's the early morning. Maybe the implication is that any window is inherently just that this is here means that it's inherently the morning because they're singing now. There's a flag outside your window. Depending on your definition of outside, almost every window has a flag outside of it, and also almost every window is near the music, assuming this is the music. So maybe I'm dumb, but I feel like these are like barely clues. I think I might go with this one. Maybe do this one. This is the one that's brightly glowing, and there's a flag outside, so let's just see if it's that.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Okay. I guess so.
A true gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
So we were meant to assume that it is in fact currently the morning, so the one that's just lit up the most is the morning one. I find it interesting. I don't know, there's a lot of things to unpack that I think can contradict elements of that. Like, he said that not a lot of windows face the morning sun. All of them did, basically. They were all facing that direction. The ones that were facing to the right were the ones that are facing an unusual direction, so I was tempted to pick one of those, because those were the rarer window. Let's go to the doctor's home.
Unless I'm mistaken, I think we've found the right flat. Now, follow me, Luke. We're going up. Oh, I nearly forgot. Before we leave, let's review how to use this trunk. It's an inventory.
And you can save in it. And all these puzzles are there. You can replay puzzles. Journal recaps the story. So whenever you need to access, blah blah blah. Here it is. Journal. Today I received a letter from Dear Dr. Schrader, my longtime friend and mentor. According to I'm just misspeaking really badly right now. According to the letter, the good doctor has finally succeeded in acquiring the Elysian box. But something about the way his letter was worded gnaws at me. I decided to check in on him, just to make sure that everything is all right. "10 pages. It's gonna be a lot of story. Or we'll just never fill it. Pics. Save right here. There we go. Mysteries. It's the number of juggled mysteries that collectively make up what's happening in the story.
It's a pretty old building, but looks sturdy enough.
Oh.
This place is nice. I'd feel safe walking around here at night. Oh, the flowers are blooming. I wonder who takes care of them.
Hello there, mister. Never seen you around here before. Want to hear something useful? Check it out. See that mailbox right over there? Try tapping on it, will ya?
Okay. Whoa. A hint coin I'll never use.
Brilliant. That's a hint coin you found there.
Ever work on a puzzle and get stuck?
It's times like that when I bet you'd fancy a hint, yeah? Well, what? When that happens, you can trade in those shiny hint coins for hints. They're scattered all over the place, which means you should always be on the lookout for them. Tap on things that are suspicious, okay? Anyway.
Oh, no puzzle. Oop, we can go in there though. For how slowly they're moving around, it's very funny that they sprinted up the stairs.
We can look at the view after we make sure the doctor's okay.
Suddenly we don't have time to look around, but we had time to talk about hidden coins a second ago. It's very funny how much of a hurry we're apparently in only now.
This is Dr. Schrader's flat, I'm sure of it. Andrew, are you home? It's Herschel Layton.
I always forget that's his name.
Sir, are you there?
Doctor?
I don't hear anyone in there, Professor. What if he's... There's no time for speculation now, Luke. We must get this door open immediately. Seems to be locked from the inside. Is this Dark Souls? Is this a Souls-like? But without a key, there's no way to get in. Ah, of course. In my haste, I forgot about these keys the doctor included in his letter. Quick, Professor. Let me try them on the door. Huh? That's strange. It doesn't seem like any of these keys work on the lock. Luke, don't you see? Dr. Schrader has set before us yet another puzzle to solve. Why is our society like this? Why won't they stop? Somebody should have stopped them by now.
Which key opens the door? As you might expect, the keys won't open the door if its shape won't let them pass through the keyhole. Use your styles to fit keys in the lock. Examine each key carefully and use your styles to move the keys to find the one that fits into the lock. Okay. Feel. Is the rotation here meant to suggest that you might mean the other side is the way you insert it? That's interesting. This one just looks flat. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to insert a flat key technically, but not on this side because there's a chain. This side makes sense. You put the hoop in maybe, because this has 2 bulbs, 2 rods. This one has 3 rods or 2 rods, and this one's just flat. But this one has 1 rod in the middle, which is this version, I believe. Seems to make sense.
Here goes. That was almost
Correct.
too easy.
Did it take you a while to figure out the portion of the key resembling the grip was actually the part you need to go in the hole? Yeah. Whoa.
Professor!
Yeah. No, untrue. How could this have happened?
Laughing wasn't the intended response, but it was just the visual of like, what happened to this person? And you run into their room and the window's open, which is usually shorthand for they might have jumped out the window. So having it show an open window like that, then immediately pan down with a dramatic sound effect to the body that's just on the floor, it was just very funny because it gave me exactly enough time to think for a second that he was suggested to have jumped, when I know obviously we know it's supposed to be at the box, but just for a second you're like, oh.
This is terrible, Professor. Do you suppose the Elysian box did this to Dr. Schrader when he tried to open it?
I honestly don't know, Luke. But that can wait. Right now, we need to notify the police.
Of course, Professor.
What do we have here? A train ticket for the Momentary Express.
Now, this is strange. Look, there's no destination written on this ticket. Have you ever seen a train ticket that didn't say where it was taking you?
Yes, very strange indeed.
I believe they're experiencing momentary hesitation. A single ticket with no visible destination was discovered in Dr. Schrader's home. It appears to be for the Momentary Express, but where exactly is it supposed to take its owner?
Excuse me.
Huh? Hey, it's you!
Well, Inspector Chelmey's the name. You two found the body, did you?
Well, what in the blighters?
No, Luke. Let him go.
Get off me!
Luke, stop that. That's his face. Listen here.
That's his face.
Oh my gosh! His face doesn't come off. He's the real deal.
Very funny. In a moment of fear, I was like, hang on a minute, did they ever make a Professor Layton Switch trilogy or anything? Like, what if I've made a horrible mistake? No, it doesn't look like they ever put Professor Layton on Switch. Anyway. But yeah, last time he was the bad guy, wasn't he? So that we technically haven't really interacted with this character so much, because it was the bad guy in disguise last time, I think.
What in the blazes? That's my face, not some piece of taffy.
I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't mean it. I was sure we had another imposter on our hands.
What in the world is this child talking about? I swear, young ones these days have no manners.
My apologies for the confusion. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Professor Layton. I'm a professor of archaeology at Gressenheller University.
And I'm his apprentice, Luke.
Interesting. So if I understand correctly, you keep a child around as an apprentice, do you?
Not at all, sir. In truth, he's...
Professor Layton's apprentice, like I said.
Well, it's really none of my concern. I have a crime scene that needs my attention. Clear a path, will you?
But of course. Luke, not a word about that ticket to the authorities, all right?
You got it, Professor.
They're immediately hiding information from the authorities.
Yes. Let's see. What do we have here? A murder? Or was the crime self-inflicted?
Inspector, I should tell you that the door was locked before Luke and I came in.
I see. So this door, the sole entry point in and out of this 8th floor flat, was shut tight. Then the doctor was holed up in here, completely apart from the outside world, yes? That being the case, yes, I'm sure of it. The old gent must have suffered a heart attack.
What? How did you come to that conclusion, sir?
Use your noodle, laddie. What other explanation could there be?
It's true that the flat is on the 8th floor and that the door was locked, Inspector.
But what if they had a funny hot air balloon, which I think might have even happened in the last game, or it was poisoned?
Still, I'd hesitate to say that this room was completely closed off from the outside.
Is that so?
Please elaborate. Isn't it obvious? There's something quite unusual about our crime scene that's been overlooked.
Eh?
It's as plain as the nose on your face, Inspector. I suppose you academics think your fancy degrees prepare you to play detective, eh? I tell you, nowadays, it seems like everybody and their mum thinks they can do my job. Now, as I was saying, the cause of death was heart failure, plain and simple. And there's what caused it. This? It's a scaled-down model of a Kronosaurus, if I'm not mistaken. I reckon that ugly mug will give anyone nightmares. Here's what probably happened. The old fellow turned on the light, took one look at the beast, and then keeled right over.
But this is the doctor's own home. Why would the bones he put up himself scare him?
People have a way of becoming forgetful with age. Not that you'd understand, boy.
Well, you're right about that. I don't think I understand it at all.
Mr. Layton, was it? No? Ah, yes, Layton. Mr. Layton, what do you think? The scenario you paint certainly isn't out of the realm of possibility. But, considering the lights were off when we entered the room, I don't think we've found our answer yet. Oh, really? Furthermore, look around you, Inspector. Doesn't anything strike you as odd?
What do you mean, Professor?
Study your surroundings, Luke. I'm sure you can see it too.
"30 picarettes." Still don't know if that's how you pronounce it at all. It makes sense for him to be hinting and talking around things with Luke, but when it's there with the inspector too, it's like, okay, maybe just say the thing you think you know. Oh, it's way up there. Weird. Thought it was lower. With its windows opening out into thin air, 8 stories up, and its door securely bolted, you might think that this room is inaccessible from the outside. However, a single unusual detail reveals the truth of what went on here. Your job is to look around the room by tapping the arrows and find this detail. Once you've got it, circle the area with your stylus and choose Submit to give your answer. Make sure to circle only one object when you answer. Oh, this is neat. Okay. Plant, pot, boxes, I guess, bunch of plaques, weird fossil, an entire sarcophagus. I don't think you're supposed to have that, man. Circle's chair. Ah, yes, what did him in was a sedentary lifestyle. I knew it. Is it a computer? When is this set? Some tanks. It was Layton all along, I knew it. It's obvious when you think about it. I don't know what this is. Shredder? Coffee machine? With the art, we've got some extra interpretation to do. Masks. It was a boomerang. A boomerang, did it? A boomerang. Definitely the new sexy. Bunch of vials. Giant masks. This little guy that has not been introduced yet, technically. A lot of books. I don't know, I'm still thinking it's the sedentary lifestyle that did him in. Chair. This stands out a little bit. There's a torn curtain. Some pills. Or lotion, I don't know. Weird box. Is that the box? Let's see. You might think this room is inaccessible from the outside, however, a single detail reveals the truth of what went on here. So evidence that it was accessible from outside. Okay, so it is this then. It's the torn window shade, I think. Curtain, that's the word.
Here goes. Piece of cake.
I had to recalibrate for a moment to make sure that I knew, because it was, I thought we were looking for what caused the death specifically, but it's like, oh, right, no, we're just contradicting the idea that it was inaccessible from outside. Part of the curtain has been ripped clean off.
Of course. This window is missing a curtain.
So it is. But what exactly does this have to do with my crime scene?
Wait, that's really blatant.
It means someone exited the building through this window, and I'll bet he's our culprit.
They left it? That's really funny.
Excellent deduction, Luke. You're a true... You're a true apprentice, ready to inherit the Layton name.
There's no fucking... a bedsheet rope all the way across. How'd they even get it over there? Is there like a grappling hook on this end? A brick, it looks like? That doesn't seem like
enough. That's a sound theory. Well done, my boy. Oh, yes. Sound as a pound. I was just about to propose the same idea myself.
Liar!
Shh, Luke, listen. I don't believe our friend the inspector will be of much help to us. What say you and I conduct a little investigation of our own?
Professor, look! There's something in Dr. Schrader's hand.
It's an old photograph, but it's been torn into so many pieces, I can't make out the original image.
Look at this photograph. Torn fragments of a photograph were found in the late doctor's hand. In its current state, it's impossible to make out the contents of the photo. What could it be depicting?
Hey, what's the big idea? You can't just pour evidence in a crime scene. Get your hands off that... What is this anyway? Not that it matters. I'll be holding on to that. Now out with the both of you.
You found a torn photo, but Inspector Chelmy confiscated it. Rude.
Ah! But we're not done!
The text read more as like a "aww," but the voice actor was "ah."
Dr. Schrader indicated that he was in possession of the Elysian box, yet there was nothing resembling such an artifact in his home. Do you think the person who did this was hit to him was after the box? It's an interesting theory, but for the moment that's all it is. However, it's my belief that we hold a clue to understanding today's events, namely that ticket. The Voluntary Express ticket, right, Professor? Correct, Luke. I believe that a trip aboard the Voluntary Express is in order.
Found it. Box's location. Somebody managed to steal the Elysian box from Dr. Schrader's home without leaving behind a single implicating clue. Who could have made off with the box? This is kind of a neat way of spelling out the story, laying out the story. That's what I was trying to say. I was like, what was I even going for on autopilot there? Like as a way to like just try to show all the questions that are currently being juggled at the same time. It gets really granular, if I remember correctly, to the point where you're like, how are these even separate clues sometimes? But I guess technically, yes. The question of whether or not the box is real and whether or not, and the question of where it is, are technically two separate questions.
Do you suspect we'll find the key to unlocking this mystery on the train? Dr. Schrader did his best to point us towards the Voluntary Express should something happen to him. Sure as a fog on As sure as a fog on a London morning, I know this train will lead us to the answers we seek. I think that fog is getting less likely as global warming happens, so, guess he's doomed.
Professor Layton and Luke sped away from the city, unaware of the secrets that awaited them down those iron tracks.
Chapter 1. The legendary Molentary Express. Legendary Molentary Express. Yep. Those are words to put together. Okay, we're done with the very out of order prologue, and now we can just tell linear story again.
Gosh, just look at this place, Professor. It's so posh. I feel like I should be wearing a monocle. Haha, quite so, Luke. Every decoration and detail in this room is more decadent than the last. I'd wager the rest of the train is just as grand. How would you like to go exploring for a bit? Look at that, Luke. Your bag is wide open, and your belongings are scattered everywhere. Oops, I guess they are. You should put your things away before we walk around the train. This puzzle is worth 30 out of 30 picarats.
Just trying to fit everything in here.
A boomerang did it.
Luke's belongings are all over the place and need to be packed away in his trunk. Use the stylus to move individual objects into the trunk and make sure that none of them overlap. When you think everything is business, okay. How many of these things count? Okay. Oh, this is an item. Okay. Okay, there's a few more items than I thought there were. No mention of rotating, right? Oh, this is a separate item. That kind of helps. I was just noticing that everything I tried to put this with, like, this leg is only 1 long, but this one sticks out by 2, and this one sticks out by 1, so nothing sticks out by an interval that would make up for the amount this one hangs out. So it pretty much just has to be this harmonica. That doesn't fit well. Oh, we might be here for a while. Also put it down here. Those fit together well. But some of these fit together less well. Yerp. We're so close. So this one's empty and this one's doubled. Nope, we were there earlier. Only you could rotate it. Just turn it around. Luke, it's a boomerang. It's known for rotating. Just put it right here. Just put it right there, Luke. Please. Okay,
Mm-hmm. These are my favorite kind of puzzle. I love them. Ooh. Okay, okay. Some real cumbersome weird shapes. It's hard not to just repeat myself. Because what do they want from me here? It's so close.
Nothing can fit in here at all. This pretty much has to be on the right wall somewhere. There's part of why I keep defaulting to something like that. It's really hard to place both of these at this point. They're not even generally very similar shapes, so I can't even like swap them out for the one that's almost like it to fill in the part that's contradicting. This might be very annoying to watch, but I honestly just don't really have a discernible strategy right now. I don't really see how to be smarter about this. I'm just finding my way back into the same grooves now. I'm kind of jumping towards unintuitive approaches just to see if something jostles free. But a lot of these shapes being in slightly odder positions, it gets apparent real fast why I wasn't doing that before. Because it doesn't generally make much sense to even try them that way. I much prefer when the puzzle's about deducing something. Whereas in real life terms, something like this is like not even applicable to anything, because you're like, why wouldn't I just be able to rotate the items? Ugh. I keep falling into the trap of certain intuitive shapes. But I'm not trying to break free from that, because me trying to escape the intuitive shapes just leads to stuff that breaks immediately. These fit together in a slightly interesting way. But nothing's gonna fit in the 2x2 up there, right? And now this leaves a gap over here and nothing sticks up on the top left, so... Nope, I don't think that's a fruitful conclusion to land on. Right. No, this has to be under the... I'm pretty sure this has to be on either side of the handle. Whatever one's next to the wall. Otherwise, we're not getting anywhere. Okay. Okay. No overlap?
Let's see if this works. Piece of cake.
Phew! It was a tight squeeze, but everything's finally packed away. A bit of planning will prevent this type of scrambling in the future. You're right. I do feel better with everything put away. Come on, Professor. Let's look around some more.
I don't know if they need to explain every single time that the puzzle you just solved is now available in the Go Replay Puzzles menu. They explained that menu at the beginning, and it'll just keep happening the same way. Seems like that's enough. Let's go on. Hanging... Oh, hello. Can't coin all the way up here.
It's always nice to have a light around. Oh! Ew, Professor, the sugar's covered in ants. Oh dear. I'll have to remember to get sugar for my tea elsewhere. Curious though, isn't it? How did they get here? Perhaps this puzzle will shed some light on things.
17. That's how you know it's an optional one, I think, is that I think they've been all in order so far. The worker ant. What? Busy ants work tirelessly carrying food back to their nests. One day, one such ant was returning with food when he bumped into an acquaintance in front of the nest. Whoa there, doofus. Don't you know that you took the longest path possible back to the nest? Think about where you're going, man. Knowing that the ant never traveled the same area twice, can you trace the path he walked to get to his nest? Longest possible path. Hmm. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Entering memo mode. Let's try to beat 20 then, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 again. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, no. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I keep getting 20 again. I don't know how to get better than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And I can't really go around there. 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm hitting 20 a lot. So if I can break 20 anywhere, that might be the answer. It says the path. And so it feels like it should be something better than the 500 that are all equally compatible to getting the other number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Is that the path I had written down? I can clearly add 3 right here. So that's an optimization already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Boom. Watch it be wrong.
Leave it to me.
That was not a lot of blank left on the screen for there to even be more lines.
Layton's apprentice strikes again.
That's right. Perhaps all the heavy lifting kept this little ant from thinking about his path home. If only he thought about where he was going, he could have saved himself a lot of walking. Okay. Sure. This hypothetical ant that doesn't even seem to be in the scenario we're looking at in the actual story. Whoever this ant is. You've got it, my boy. Well, I'm no fan of ants in my sugar. You have to admire their craftiness and work ethic. Maybe they're working so hard because even the sugar on the Monetary Express is extra fancy. Haha, perhaps. I must admit, it is a compelling motive. The professor's trunk is really heavy. What's in there? Ah. Handsome items are such a luxury. What's over here? Remember, Luke, we're here to find the Elysian box, so don't get sidetracked. Definitely don't do 500 side puzzles for your audience. You don't have to tell me twice. Now, why don't we start our search by investigating the train? Wow. Great idea, Luke. We should investigate, the entire surrounding area. Great place to start. I like the implication that they just decided, as opposed to like having that been the plan the whole time.
I hear the rooms in the front of the train are super fancy. Are so super fancy the doorknobs are made of gold. But no one's allowed in except for really rich people. So, misters, are you really rich? Because if you are, you can go see the super duper fancy rooms. Super duper fancy rooms, eh? That none but the extremely wealthy can enter. If our young friend is correctly informed, there must be a set of deluxe rooms in the next car. Wow, I'm sure I'd like to see those. I bet they're utterly fantastic. Not garish and embarrassing at all. I'm going to my grandma's. Where are you two going? We're actually looking for something, dear. Sadly, we don't know where it is. Until we find a clue to point us in the right direction, we'll simply have to continue looking. Oh, that sounds like lots of work. Here, I'll tell you a puzzle to take your mind off that stuff. You sound busy. What if I gave you more work? After trying to fold a strip of paper in half, you notice that one side of the folded strip is 1 inch longer than the other. Determined to set it right, you fold the strip again, only to discover that now the other end of the folded strip is 1 inch longer than the other. Now that you've made 2 folds along your strip, figure out what the distance between the 2 folds is when expressed in tenths of an inch. Tenths of an inch? Okay, so they made 2 separate folds that are equidistant from the edges, and Yep. Now that you've made 2 folds along your strip, figure out what the distance is between the 2 folds when expressed in tenths of an inch. Eh. Nope. Have answer to go to the answer screen. For an example, enter 31 and write 1 in the ones column and 3 in the 10. Okay. Like that. It's a 3-digit input, but I don't think there's any universe where you need 3 digits. It's the answer's in tenths of an inch. Let's see, what is the logic of this? So the length to the left and right doesn't matter because they're equal to each other. It's just about the relationship between the 2 gaps. So one was longer than the other by 1 inch in both cases. Like, for example, we'll say that, like, in number 1, the sides were 4 and 5 in length, and the other one, they were 5 and 4 in length. I think that just means they're 1 inch apart from each other, the 2 lines. But I'm just not sure if I'm thinking about it wrong or not. Just in terms of, like, would the effect double or half the distances? I think the answer is 1 inch. Like, if you think about it, the 2 sides that are 1 inch apart from each other, they're off from the middle by a 1/2 inch in each direction. So that means that you're off from the center by a 1/2 inch. And then to recreate, they have to be off by the center
off from the center by a ½ inch in the other direction. So you're 1 inch apart. So the answer is 10 because it's expressed in tenths of an inch. I don't know, let's see if I'm sane or not.
This should do the trick.
Yep, okay. That's it.
Ha! Wonderful.
That's right, the distance from the folds is 1 inch or 10/10 of an inch. Uh-huh. Unnecessary complication, but they wanted to let us write it in terms... I guess because a lot of the likely answers were fractions, they probably didn't want us to make us write a fraction in this detection system. I don't know. I'm trying to interpret why they wanted it to be in tenths, given how irrelevant that was to almost any way you'd measure this. I think that might have just been some goofiness tied to the input system. If you're having trouble visualizing this picture, I'll just read this. If you're having trouble visualizing this, picture that the matchbox shown above has a height of 1 inch. Imagine that the areas where one side of the box connects to the top and bottom are the folds of the strip. As you can see, and you can see how the excess length in both folds can be represented by the other side. I don't know if I understand that's the, oh, and it just ends. It feels like there's supposed to be a second page. I don't know if I actually follow the logic of the matchbox or whatever the fuck they just talked about. But I got it on my own, so whatever.
You got it. Wow. Those hats you're wearing must be thinking caps or something. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for, misters. I'm tired of being on a train. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Whoever did the lighting here has excellent taste.
It's just, they're just bulbs. Just very normal looking fixtures. Oh, we're back here. Okay, so I can't go in the middle one. I can go back this way.
I bet the deluxe rooms make our room look like a freight car.
Hold it right there, man. Sammy Thunder says entrance to that car is for VIPs only. Capiche?
He looks like he was wearing a mesh tank top. What is he wearing?
Now, I know you'd like to sneak a peek, but the whole car's booked, so that's a no-go.
I bet the kind of person who can rent out a whole car must be some kind of super tycoon. Indeed. I wonder what it must be like to have that much room to yourself on a train of this caliber.
Oh wow, you can walk over there. And then you can walk over there. Unparalleled freedom.
Well, for now, I suppose you'll just have to keep wondering, eh, Professor?
It's easy. Imagine where we are right now. But throw this little girl out the window. And now it's all yours. Whoa! I don't understand. I don't understand, like, bizarrely idolizing the rich, or even the things the rich are getting, when it's the equivalent of, like, being first class on an airplane. It's like, we're all just bored and uncomfortable on a plane for 6 hours. They're just over there in slightly nicer looking seats, because people reintroduced class everywhere they can to things, but fundamentally, they're not having, like, a great time. They're on a plane. It's like, just seems better to save your money for better experiences where you can actually enjoy yourself instead of having slightly better shitty accommodations on a shitty form of transportation.
Yes, I suppose these accommodations will do. I do hope my darling boy will be pleased.
You are barely audible over the music.
That reminds me, I believe it's dinner in time for my sweet baby. I'm off to visit the dining car.
Gosh, that lady was just the type I'd expect to see on the Military Express. Talk about rich and fancy. Quite. This trade is full of many well-heeled patrons like the woman you just met. We must watch our deeds and words here. A formal setting demands formal manners, wouldn't you say?
I hate it. I hate it so much. All she did was act self-important and annoying. It's not worthy of respect at all.
Absolutely, Professor.
I have no interest in succumbing to the fucking standards of niceties that are determined by the shittiest people. With no other leads at our disposal, Luke and I have decided to use the ticket we found at the doctor's flat to board the Monetary Express. I suspect the doctor rode this luxurious train at some point, but as to where it took him, I cannot say. I don't think this game has settings. In fact, I don't think handheld games had settings most of the time. Not like Nintendo handheld games. I think you're more likely to have them on like the PlayStation ones. So I don't think I can rebalance the audio. I was gonna turn down the music to let voices have a little more priority, but I don't think I can actually do anything like that. Oh well. Who's in here? Is this just my room again? Oh. Wow, that's a lot of people. Ma'am, you doing alright? Look at this funny little man. Look at this little cute little guy having a spaghetti. Are any of you people real? What? How did I leave? How did I leave? I didn't even click on a door, did I?
Wow, just look at all the stuff here there is to eat.
Yes, it seems that the Monetary Express is a first-class operation right down to the kitchen. Oh my, passengers in the kitchen. I'm sorry, but we just can't have that. Wearing those dirty clothes of yours in here could earn me a health code violation, you know.
I'll have you know that there's nothing at all dirty about our clothes, sir.
Say what you like, Short Stack, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm running a kitchen here. Did you stop to think about what could happen if icky outside germs made it here because of you?
I see your point. Terribly sorry for the intrusion and any worry you may have caused you, good sir. Oh, all right. I'm sorry too, sir. Wait, what's that?
Little hamsters, big adventures, ham 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 taro.
Professor, look here. It looks like our friend the cook has been keeping a pet in the kitchen. And to think he was lecturing us about germs.
Ooh boy, guess the cat's out of the bag now. Or the hamster, I should say. Believe me, I know it's not okay to keep a pet in the kitchen. Well, he's my only friend, see? Furry or not. He's the only rodent I've got to talk to here. My, he certainly is generously proportioned, isn't he? You said he's a hamster, yes? That's right, a hamster, the noblest member of the animal kingdom. When I first started working here, I needed someone to keep me company, so I bought him. Thing is, I feed him all the table scraps we take back, which makes for a diet that's a bit, rich. He really put on the pounds, and if he doesn't get in shape, it could really be bad for his health. So stop abusing the tiny hamster by feeding it too much. Poor little guy. That's why I want to ask something of you, boy. Would you mind holding on to my friend for a little while? When he's here with me, I can't help but feed him, but those scraps of pastry and pasta add up.
You're saying you want us to hold on to him and keep him and help him shape up? Sounds like a great idea to me. I mean, what do you think, Professor? Can we please keep him for a little while? I immediately forgot about the not getting sidetracked thing you said. Well, I do believe that helping those in need, rodent or not, is the duty of every true gentleman. We'd be happy to take custody of this hamster for the time being.
Oh, Thank you so much. Hearing that is a real load off my shoulders. The hamster minigame. What? The hamster? You can access the hamster minigame by tapping the hamster's icon. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, one more thing. Since you won't be seeing each other for a while, please give him this apple, will you? He loves them so. Is an apple gonna help the hamster get in shape? That's just more food. I'm gonna miss my little guy. Please take good care of him.
Don't worry, he's in good hands. We're investigating murders.
What's the hamster's name? Oh shit. Oops. There we go. Lucas named his new hamster friend Argo.
Okay, little guy. From now on, anywhere I go, you'll go too.
I'm not doing squeaky noises, I can't.
Haha. It appears that your special talent with animals has earned you a new friend, Luke. And that you grabbed a hamster and it looks sad and you're just taking it with you. I think so too, Professor.
What is the hamster minigame? Use the items you picked up to help that sluggish hamster get back in shape. Items at your disposal are shown at the top of the touchscreen. Drag items to the stylus to position them on the hamster's playground. The hamster notices any items within 3 spaces of his position. It won't react to any items 4 or more spaces away, so really think about where you place items. Tap an item to see the properties it has. Take advantage of the special properties of each item to maximize the hamster's workout. Once you've placed all the items where you want them, tap exercise to get your hamster moving. Once the hamster interacts with an item, it disappears from the playground. Its workout ends when all items are gone, or when it can't find the next item. Each time the hamster walks the number of steps listed as his goal, he'll get a little healthier. If you get the hamster to his peak physical condition, something neat will happen. He'll become Bara.
Got any snacks around here? Don't hold out on me.
That's what he sounds like?
Hey, I'm hipster in here.
The end. His goal is just to walk 8 steps? Okay. Well, obviously we don't have anything to do here. So I guess this replaced the mini game where we were previously like decorating their apartments or something.
Unlike the rest of the train, it's kind of dim and dreary here. I think those veggies come straight from the farm. Fresh baked bread smells so good. Can you imagine all the dishes they must have to do?
Oh, I'm gonna miss my little guy. Oh, no minigame from this person? Okay. Did not mean to leave this car. I was clicking like over here and somehow managed to click on that door. Yep. Okay, so the hitbox is just really weird for that door. I'm dreadfully sorry, sir, but I'm afraid all the seats in our fine establishment are taken right now.
What's a pity?
Indeed it is, sir. But while you wait for a table, may I interest you in a puzzle? Why is our society like this? And also, maybe would it be cooler if the real world was like this a little bit? Everyone having such a socially sharing puzzles for some reason. Four couples sit elbow to elbow in a crowded dining car. All diners are sitting next to or across from their partners. The Joneses are sitting by the aisle. The mustachioed Mr. O'Connor sits beside his wife. Mr. Lambert sits across from his wife. Using this information above, can you determine where Mrs. Hadley is sitting? Circle her and touch submit. Four couples. All diners are sitting next to or across from their partners. The Joneses are sitting by the aisle. That means the Joneses Okay, so we're meant to imply heteronormativity here, so it's always a guy and a girl, right? So if the Joneses are sitting by the aisle, then they're these two right here. Because that's a guy and that's a lady, and that's two guys. They're bald. Most of the guys are bald, which makes it easier to tell. The mustachioed Mr. O'Connor sits beside his wife. No mustache. It's hard to tell for sure, but that's a giant mustache, so it's probably O'Connor. We immediately have a problem. He's beside his wife, but that's the Joneses that are by the aisle. Yeah, this is O'Connor. So these are the Joneses, because they're also both by the aisle if they're across from each other. Mr. Lambert sits across from his wife. That means these are Lambert. So then this is Mrs. Hadley, is E. Ta-da!
And now to test my theory. Ha! Wonderful.
I already solved all this because I'm smart, so I'm not going to read that. That's a whole paragraph that's just explaining what I already know to me.
That's exactly right, sirs. They say that nothing whets the appetite like a hearty puzzle. Unfortunately, we still don't have any seats, so I guess you'll just have to be hungry. Oh, it appears the table has just opened up. Allow me to just a moment to tidy it up, and then I will be happy to escort you to your seats.
Great! I'm starving. I haven't been eating puzzles all day. Oh, good. Our table is finally ready. We'll just be taking our seats then.
Madam, please wait just a moment. You see, these passengers have been here much longer.
Nonsense. We'll not hear another word of this. You take these people before us. We are insulted.
I do apologize, madam. It's simply that these gentlemen arrived before you.
We will not be kept waiting, do you understand? Not a single second. Now, out of our way.
Madam.
Talk about pushy.
I do apologize, sirs. There's a lovely observation deck on the last car of the train. May I suggest you spend a few minutes there while we prepare a new table for you?
No need for apologies, my good man. Your job is not an easy one. We'll go see the deck and return in a bit.
New objective. Figure out what direction that's even in.
Goodness me, no need to look so put out. Don't you know that ladies always go first? Especially ladies of a certain class, like me. I'm not sure if class is the word she meant to use there. I just like this little guy. Just look at it. This is a little guy.
Oh, the woman who's yelling eternally is gone. She has ceased her yelling.
The lighting in here makes the food look simply delicious.
What? Is there two doors back here? That's a door? Okay. I guess so. So that's where I was going by accident? She's terrifying.
Welcome aboard, sirs. May I interest you in a refreshing beverage or a scrumptious snack? Thank you, but I don't think we need any snacks right now. Of course you don't. And I put on my best smile for nothing. Since we got this ritzy dining car on board, most people get their chow there. With competition like that, it's hard to sell even a cup of tea. So bored. I've got a while until my shift ends, so help me pass the time with this puzzle, would you?
Do you need to use your income based on selling tea? Maybe you just don't need to sell tea. It's the happy little guy again. And this one, he's even happier. Oh my god. Is this his tower? You did not just hit me with Towers of Hanoi. God damn it. Now here's a tasty puzzle for you. Your task is to take that big stack of pancakes to the left plate and move them to the plate on the far right. In doing so, however, you need to follow these rules. You can only move one pancake at a time. A pancake can never rest on another pancake smaller than itself. Feel free to shoot. Yeah, it's Towers of Hanoi. Wow.
Just leave it to me. That was
Check out our new original puzzle you've never seen in any other BioWare game. It even says it. The solution can be achieved in as few as 7 moves. How many moves did it take you? This puzzle is actually a variant of the famous Tower of Hanoi puzzle, a brain teaser invented by a French mathematician over 100 years ago. Was it a variant? What was the variance? What was unusual? I don't remember. I admittedly have not done a Towers of Hanoi puzzle in like a year, it feels like, but holy fuck, it's so common.
Whoa! Check out the brain on you, kiddo. So listen, our next stop is in this dinky little 2-cow village called Dropstone, right? There's like nothing there. I sure wish we could stop somewhere more exciting for a change. I guess that's working a job for you. Sometimes you just have to deal with crippling boredom.
Sometimes. No, Pancake Stacks 1. You're gonna hit me with more Towers of Hanoi later? Gosh, I'm just about to keel over out of boredom. Sure, the job pays well, but it's so slow, it's painful. Worth checking on people again, because sometimes they have more than one puzzle.
Looks like no one's here right now. Let's check back later.
Whoa. Is that a bucket or a cauldron? Is this the secret switch?
Say, Professor, does that little shack over there seem familiar to you?
Indeed. Unless I'm mistaken, this must be the residence of you-know-who.
I have a feeling she'd be a big help to us again.
I swear I've seen this little house somewhere before. Can I go in? Just shrink down and pop inside?
I wonder if this is one of those brooms that can fly.
Not sure what's interactive in that room, if anything. Let's get observing.
My, what a lovely deck. Wow, this is the best. This breeze feels great.
Indeed, and the scenery is simply breathtaking.
Look, you can see a lake over there. The sky is so blue, and just look at those trees fly by. Now that's what I call a view.
This is quite amazing, Luke. Goodness, all this talk of pristine scenery reminds me of a puzzle I heard once. Why don't you try it? Trees in the forest. The forest below contains 4 different types of trees. Use your stylus to draw dividers in the forest so that you form 4 different sections. Each section should contain 1 of each type of tree, and all the trees must be connected either horizontally or vertically, but not diagonally. When you have your answer, touch submit. So split them into 4 sets of 4. That's not gonna work. Think I did it already?
Just leave it to me. That was almost too easy.
I did solve it in a few seconds, so I guess it was.
That's it. That's exactly it. Well done. Well, did you expect any less, Professor? Haha. Wow, it feels so nice out here. I almost forgot we're supposed to be searching for the Elysian box. Oh, right, you said not to get sidetracked. Whoops. I can't say I blame you, Luke, but that box led the doctor to his death. Come what may, I will solve his mystery. Of course. I think we finally have a good grasp of the train's layout. I think it's high time we began a proper investigation. Okay, Professor, let's get to it.
These objectives are... It's technically helpful to get hinted at what the only thing is you're allowed to do to continue, but it is funny that, like, we decide to investigate. We're gonna go over there now. We decide to investigate. Like, cool objectives, guys. I feel like I'd be a little scared being out here. Just in the open path. Just nothing but a rail and open landscape. Might be really cool, though. Open air is neat, although it might be really windy. I've never been... I don't think I've ever been on a train in a landscape like this. I think I went on... I took an inner city train in Atlanta to get to FWA, and I think that might have been my only time on a train ever. And I've definitely never been on like a country train. Look at that. Someone's left rubbish on the deck here. That's a crime punishable by death. Can you believe that? Some people have the worst manners. Listen here, Luke. A true gentleman cleans up after himself and others, should the need arise. What do you say we take care of this mess? I'm surprised that the paper didn't blow off. Ugh, 45. This is a funny little guy again. Is it you? Are you the one making a mess everywhere? It's unblock me. We're gonna do unblock me. Okay. Yep. Put the garbage into the trash where it belongs. Using the stylus, move the blocks obstructing your path and slide the clump of garbage all the way into the can at the bottom of the screen. Oh, you can put them in the garbage. Okay. I was like, literally, where can I move anything right now? Okay, so we can get one of them off the screen. Gives us a bit more freedom. It is a pretty weird shape. Guess it was a mistake to put these both in here. Can't ever get this out of here. There we go.
This should do the trick. A true gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
You can do 29 moves. Didn't though.
There! Now there's no trash cluttering up that amazing view. Wonderful, isn't it? Keeping a place neat really brightens it up. Ooh. My, this observation deck certainly does command an impressive view. Must be lovely to sit out here with a cup of tea. The scenery flies by so fast my eyes can hardly follow it.
Okay. Well, I guess we observed the deck. Hi.
There's nothing like travel by rail to put a spring in your step. I couldn't agree more. And there's no better way to do it than on a train as fine as yours, Mr. Beluga. So you know my name, do you? But of course, this train and its owner have quite a reputation in London. I've seen your face in the papers more than a few times. Oh, is that so now? I'm sorry, my friend, but I can't say I know you as well as you seem to know me. The name is Herschel Layton. I'm a professor of archaeology by trade, but a train enthusiast on the side. I've heard tales of this train's grandeur, so I decided it was time to experience it firsthand. Well, isn't that something? It certainly is a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Layton, was it? Oh my, just look at how late it's gotten. I really have to run. Do enjoy your time aboard.
It's funny that he's called Mr. Beluga, because a modern term for a rich person that can be easily squeezed from a lot of money is a whale.
Why don't we head back to the dining car now, Luke? I've worked up quite an appetite.
These objectives. Also, I'm just confused by the idea of it being like, nothing puts a spring in my step, like, travel by rail? It's like, nothing excites me quite like, waiting in a room, but the room's moving. But it's exciting waiting. Welcome back, sirs. My deepest apologies for the long wait. Let me show you your seats.
All right, it's finally time to eat. We've made zero progress on our investigation, and it's been 2 hours.
My sentiments exactly.
Wow, look at all these choices. It's enough to make my head spin. Oh, look over there. There's some sort of commotion going on.
You called this hot cuisine? I call it slop. You say we actually serve this to our customers?
I'll remake it right away, sir.
Ugh. Get that mess out of my sight this instant.
But of course, I'm very sorry to have displeased you so.
And another thing, look at these vases in that picture. Utterly tacky, replace them immediately.
But, sir, that piece is a quintessential work by the world-renowned.
I don't care if the Queen of England painted it. Replace it and be quick about it.
Yes, of course, sir. I'll start making the arrangements at once.
Hey, isn't that the same man we saw earlier? I don't think I've ever seen anyone so bossy. And loud. That would be Mr. Beluga, I believe. It's too bad that picture wasn't to his taste. I think it's marvelous. Ah, and speaking of pictures, Luke, I've got a puzzle for you.
Number 10.
The drawing below is made up of curved lines that intersect to create sections. If you want to color the entire canvas so that no section touches the side of a section with the same color, what's the fewest number of colors you can use? You can use a color as many times as you want as long as it doesn't touch any area with the same color. Once you have your answer, tap the input, okay?
I'm always iffy about these ones that are like, which one's the fewest? Because I'm like, I don't know, man. How do I know if I have the best answer yet? Or if I need to keep checking for 3 more hours? These seem to be mostly a bunch of 4-way intersections, which means that they're just alternating with each other. These are not the cleanest hashes ever. Okay, so there's this one spot where the line ends at an intersection. So this is a 3-way intersection. I think it's the only 3-way intersection in the entire map. So you can just do this is basically just a wavy version of a checkerboard where it's just, they're all meeting at corners, so you can just do 2 colors. But then this one spot requires a 3rd color because of this one intersection. So the answer should be 3, I think.
Just leave it to me.
Ta-da! I did it with my giant brain hole. Yep, they made it that color, but still. One weird little exception because they just didn't finish this one line. Womp womp. Expertly solved, Luke. After a puzzle like that and a lovely meal, I could use a break. Let's head back to our room. We've accomplished absolutely nothing so far. How exciting. Hello there, sorry to interrupt your game, but there's something important you should know. As you progress through the story, some puzzles will disappear from their original locations. These puzzles are then moved to Granny Riddleston's shack, where you can solve them when you want. Okay then, here's the first set of puzzles to be sent to the shack. If no puzzles appear on the next screen, it means that there are no unsolved puzzles to send right now. Fuck. I missed one. Puzzle 23. Pictures and poison. This is because the story kind of moves from place to place and does stuff, and so you lose access to locations. So if you didn't find the context for the puzzle, the story moves on, so you can't trigger it the normal way anymore. I don't want to return to my room in car 3. I need to solve the puzzle I missed shamefully and embarrassingly. Luke, let's stop by our room before we go anywhere else. Sounds good, Professor. I'm being forced at gunpoint to do this, and I want you to understand that. Now, what do we have here? My boy, my sweet little boy, you've got to do something right this instant. Search the entire train.
Madam, please calm down so I can understand the situation.
Oh, Inspector Chelmy, I had no idea you were on board.
If it isn't Mr. Layton, what are the chances, eh? Well, enough small talk. I have other matters to attend to, namely a missing boy. It seems this woman's child has gotten off to somewhere. I don't suppose you've seen him around?
No, I don't believe I've seen any young boys. My little boy wandered off and he hasn't returned yet. I'm simply at my wits' end worrying about him. Gentlemen, I demand that you drop whatever it is you're doing and help me find my boy.
She's been going on like this from the moment I walked in.
I understand your concern, madam. My friend and I will be glad to lend you a hand in your search. We'll have the best chance of recovering your boy if we set out searching immediately. Yes, that's exactly what I just said. Now, go find my boy already. Tell him Mommy's worried about him.
Seems the only clues we have to go on are this shoe the tyke left behind and his name, Tom. Tom is a clue on an investigation. I've tried to squeeze more details from the woman, but it's useless. She just keeps demanding I search the entire train.
Maybe that she knows something about this. Oh my god, that's a small child. You've lost a baby, ma'am. That's not a child. This is a child. This is one of Tom's shoes? It's positively tiny, isn't it? Yes, I find it quite curious myself, Luke. What's strange is that I don't think most children with feet that size can even walk yet. Is it a toy? It's a toy, isn't it? It's a toy. Tom. While riding on the Military Express, Babette's little boy, Tom, manages to disappear. If the shoe he left behind is any indication, Tom must be a very young child. Where could a child that small have wandered off to on his own? He floated away. Well, that's one new objective to get. It was certainly a surprise to see you on board, Inspector. May I ask what brings you here?
During the investigation, we stumbled upon the late doctor's diary. Its pages detail the doctor's final days, which led me to this train. But since this investigation is none of your business, that's all I can tell you, Mr. Layton. Besides, right now, finding that lost child is my top priority. However, since all I have to go on is a shoe and a name, this search will be an uphill battle. Luke and I would be glad to offer our assistance in the matter. Oh, I'm sure you would. I've heard about you, Layton. You've got quite the reputation for poking your nose into other people's business. But before I let you in on my case, show me your famous powers of deduction by solving this puzzle. A woman in a shoe store pays for a pair of $30 shoes with a $50 bill. The clerk doesn't have change, so he goes to the shop next door to break the $50 bill. He then gives the woman her change. A while later, the clerk next door comes into the shoe store complaining that the bill she got from the shoe clerk was counterfeit. The mortified shoe clerk gives the other shopkeeper a $50 bill of his own in apology, but the woman with the fake bill and the shoes she took are gone. In total, how much did the shoe store clerk lose in dollars? $50? It's a trick question, isn't it? Well, they needed change. Okay, so $30 shoes with a $50 bill, so that means that they needed to break the 50 into a 30 and a 20 so that he could give the 20 back. So he gave the woman a 20, and then had to then give back the original woman, give the other clerk a 50. So he lost $70 because the shoes are not a loss in dollars, it's a loss in shoes. It's not money, it's goods. I believe that makes sense.
Consider this puzzle solved.
Uh-oh. Nyeh, nyeh.
Well, I suppose that's one possibility eliminated.
Alright, didn't quite get their logic, I guess. Pays for a pair of $30 $30 shoes with a $50 bill. The clerk doesn't have change and he goes to the shop next door to break the $50 bill, then gives the woman her change. So that's where he gives the guy, he gives the woman $20. Oh, the $20 was the person next door's money. Right. So it's just the $50, right? Because if you're going by the original sources, that first $20 that was given wasn't theirs. It's just the fact that they give him a 50. Whoops.
This should do the trick.
There's a little smile. You always know whether it was right or wrong before the last one actually shows up. I goofed him. I goofed it up. Womp womp. The shoes the customer made off with cost $30, and the change the shoe clerk gave her cost him $20, bringing the shoe clerk's total losses to $50. What? The shoe clerk received $50 in real money when he swapped the fake bill for change, but had to return the same $50 when the counterfeit bill was discovered. This means that these two transactions are like, what? Wait, they were. This is a frustrating kind of question because there's too many ways to interpret how we're even talking about these things. I'm supposed to count the $30 shoes as being money he lost, but it's not money, it's goods. In fact, you intentionally charge more to profit off of them, so they aren't you don't. If you lose a product, you don't lose the sale value. You lose the production value or the acquisition value. That's what you lost. That's otherwise you're just talking about potential profits that were lost, which is not the same thing as something that you had and lost. I don't like the fact that the $20 that were the other woman's money and the shoes that aren't money counted towards the total. It still leads to the same overall answer, so I was still right in the game's terms, but what? No. He didn't lose any money himself until he gave the other woman $50. I don't agree with that answer. Seems your fame isn't entirely undeserved. Nevertheless, this is my case, so I'll be searching for Tom alone. I was just wasting your time. Fuck off. Search on your own if you like, but don't get your hopes up. The shoe store thief. Alrighty then. Seems a little unprofessional to be like, well, whatever, look on your own, whatever. Have fun. My investigation. Well, I guess we're looking for a child, so it makes sense. He doesn't know that we're looking for the box. That's why I was thinking about that for a second there. I had to remember that we're talking about the missing child. Of course he would say, look for the child if you want. Because this is missing child. Anyway, this game was voted for by Patreon, and we do this quarterly, so every 3 months we do another vote for a Patreon game. That's fun. This was the one we voted for in July, so the next one will be in beginning of October. Yeah, that's how quarters work. And if you want to watch ahead on this, if you're watching it in the public videos, you can watch ahead on Patreon, where the series is probably already done, because that just seems to be how the schedule's going right about now. So you can binge the whole thing right now on Patreon by joining the $5 tier. That gives you early access to Let's Plays, and in so doing, you probably get access to like 50 to 100 hours of other Let's Plays that are also currently on the Patreon and not public yet. Whatever that current total is at the time this video comes out. It's probably a lot. I've had a lot so far. But anyway, buckle up for more Professor Layton. I'll see you guys next time.